A father went to say goodnight to his 7-year-old son. He knew, if he didn't, his little boy would have trouble sleeping. So it was a nightly routine between them. He entered the dimly lit room where his son waited under his blanket. With the first glance, the father could tell something was unusual about his son tonight, but he couldn't put his finger on it. He looked the same, but he had a grin that drew from ear to ear. "You okay, buddy?" the father asked. The son nodded, still with the grin, before saying, "Daddy, check for monsters under my bed." The father chuckled a bit before getting on his knees to check, only to satisfy his son. But when he looked under the bed, pale and afraid, was his son. His real son, he whispered. "Daddy, there's someone on my bed." The father screamed in horror as he turned to look at the bed. To his horror, there was no one there. Had his son been lying to him? Was he just having a nightmare? Confused and scared, the father quickly got up and checked the window. It was closed. He then went to the closet and opened it, but there was nothing inside. Suddenly, he heard a noise from the bed. It was a small noise, like someone or something shifting. The father stood there frozen, not knowing what to do. Then he started to scream for help. He screamed and screamed, but no one came. It was late at night and everyone was asleep. As he continued to scream, the noise from under the bed grew louder. It sounded like footsteps now. Then out from under the bed came the most horrifying sound of all. A voice. It was a deep, raspy voice that said, "Let me out, let me out." The father fell to his knees and begged the creature to stop. But it didn't. It just kept getting louder and angrier. Suddenly, the blanket on the bed began to move. The father watched in horror as the blanket was pulled up and a pair of glowing red eyes stared back at him. Then from under the bed came the most terrifying creature the father had ever seen. It was tall and thin, with long, sharp teeth. The father screamed and tried to run, but it was too late. The creature had him. The last thing he saw was the grin on its face. The last thing he heard was the voice saying, "Thank you for letting me out."